trust. Now, here's the thing about trust. A person can be naive, a man or woman, and give their trust to somebody without that trust being merited. So you can pick any random person off the street and decide, I'm going to trust this person. It's about as foolish as going down the street and just asking some random person, I'm going to trust you to hold on to my wallet for 10 minutes. I got to go in the building. I'll be right back. And, could you do that for me? That's how foolish it is to trust somebody that doesn't merit it. Now, trust is essential. You do have to have trust. You have to be able to trust her, and she has to be able to trust you. So what does it mean really to trust somebody? Well, when you trust somebody, you trust that they will do you no harm. If you really want to strip it down to like its barest essential, trust is knowing that you're dealing with somebody who will do you no harm. When you meet somebody new, there's all the initial attraction and all that going on. It's so easy to assume, well, guy, we're getting along great, we have some laughs, and we're great together. Well, they must be trustworthy. No, the two don't really, they're not connected. Just because you have great chemistry with somebody does not mean they are a trustworthy person. And to kind of illustrate that, imagine you've got a Filipina, since we're talking about Filipinas so much here on the channel. Let's say that you've got Filipina, just anonymous Filipina girl, and her whole life she's been an untrustworthy person. She will steal from her own brothers and sisters. She basically looks out for number one. She will lie. She will do whatever it takes. She's just not a trustworthy person. So along you come, and you don't know her. You meet her, and she's looking for somebody to pay her bills, and so she's being with you a great companion. She's fun to hang out with and full of laughs and very affectionate and all this stuff. And the mistake that an expat will make is, again, well, everything seems to be going so great, I'm sure I can trust her. But see, you don't know that her whole life before she met you, it's not in her character to look out for someone else's best interest. She looks out only for herself. But to have a great relationship, you want to look for somebody who shows consistency, because you can't take somebody who is untrustworthy and then expect them to change overnight for you. So many guys have said, you can't turn a bar girl into a housewife. And it's so true. Maybe there's an exception 1% of the time, but 99% of the time, you've got a person who has lived their life, chosen to live their life a certain way, and they're not going to change overnight just because the two of you get along so great. So when you yourself are a person who, when you have a girlfriend, a wife, when your concern is for their good, they can trust you. And when you see with consistency and time that she is always looking out for your good, then you can trust her. So this is why I always keep saying over and over and over again, take your time. Take a year to get to know a woman before you start making any big decisions. Because over that year, you can examine consistency of behavior. You can see, does she really look out for your best interest? Is she going to do you any harm? And you see it in so many levels. When a person really is trustworthy and they really do love you and they're looking out for your best interest, you will see it not by saying, here's 20,000 pesos, hang on to this for me, this is a test. That's not how you find out if you can trust somebody. You observe them over time, and it's in everything. I've given this example before, with my girlfriend. I don't have to tell her anything, hey, my water bottle's getting low or anything. I'll be doing what I'm doing, and then she'll just get up and fill it, set it down on the table again, and then walk away and not even bring it up. She just wants to make sure that I always have a full bottle of water, to drink. It's in so many little things. Again, always looking out for your best interest. Sometimes it'll be simply, maybe something like you say to her, hey, you know what, let's do something nice, let's go out to a nice restaurant. And you've got it in your head, well, I want to take her out to a nice restaurant. And she says, well, no, let's just order some takeout food, let's just get a Jollibee burger, that'll be fine. Now, what she is expressing to you is she doesn't want to flippantly, use up your money. She doesn't want to take advantage advantage of you. She doesn't want to expend your money unnecessarily. She's okay with going to Jollibee. She really is. And what can happen in these sort of situations is it becomes kind of a disagreement. It's like, no, I want to go to a steak and rib place. I wouldn't want to, and then you got to work it out. But try to see what she's doing there. She's not seeing you as some kind of asset to do withdrawals on. Instead, she's telling you, hey, I know I value your money and I don't want you to waste it. One thing that I had learned when I got here was flowers. Most Filipinos really don't want you to spend $20 on flowers. In the United States, it's almost like a tradition. It's like, in fact, if you can get them flowers less expensive, it's almost like it doesn't mean as much. It's like you have to go and sacrifice $20, $40 to deliver a dozen roses or whatever. But here in the Philippines, if you've got a good woman, she's not going to want to waste your money. So that's just one example. You will see trust over time in so many little ways where everything, her taking your hand when you cross the street, it's not because she's hanging on to you, it's that she wants to hold on to you to make sure you're safe. You see the difference? She's not taking your hand because she's worried about crossing the street. She does that all the time. It's just that act of, I want to make sure that you're safe. And in so many ways, you will see in a trustworthy person. I remember, for instance, giving V some money. It was just, it was only like, it was to buy a little blouse that was like 150, 200 pesos. And I gave her like 300 or 400. And then, this is the beginning, it's like she got it and then came to give me back the change. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Just put it in your pocket for later. You use it for something later. But see, it was the act that she came to give me back the change. Is she's not being self-serving. She's thinking about me. Now, anybody can do this one time. The real key here, knowing you can trust somebody because you see it's consistent over a long period. You see that it's in their behavior. And most people who are selfish, they cannot pull off faking it for more than 3 months because they want a payout. They want to get to the point where you're stupid and you're handing them money, every time they ask. And if 3 months later you're doing, as I mentioned in another video, you're essentially holding back on the amount of money you give them, well, the selfish, greedy person is going to move on. They're going to find somebody dumber that's just going to keep handing them money. But a person that's actually not after you for money, a person that you could trust, they're going to be focused on the relationship like you would expect with a normal person. The data that you've been lied to, you've been taken advantage of, that this person is only looking out for themselves, when you come to the conclusion with somebody that you can't trust them, you're done. That's how important trust is.